Hello, just before we get started, I just want to let you know that PlayAsia actually paid for this copy of Warriors Orochi 4, so if you want to support me and help me have more budget to buy more recent games, please go and use the link in the description to buy something, and you can use the coupon code BLUEVITA to save a few bucks off your order. Thanks for your support, onto the video. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and I'm here checking out Warriors Orochi 4. I really liked 3, but I'm not actually that interested in 4, would you believe? There's a lot of reasons for that, and we will get into them. So, this literally just came out yesterday, my time. By the time you see this, it'll be like 3 days old, and I apologize for that. But I already have a video going up today, Fast Striker, so there's not much I can do about it. So, we'll go have a quick look at the options menu. It's actually a lot more streamlined in a lot of ways, including in the options menu. So you've got your controls here, and you can change what does what, which is nice. Now, I'm just going to point out that I haven't tried this on Vita Remote Play, and I don't really want to, because I can't imagine a control scheme for this game where it would be remotely satisfying to play it, because you need to be constantly switching characters in this game in order to get anything done. And by constantly, I mean you will constantly probably be having to take your fingers either off the buttons to hit the touchscreen, or you'll have to be constantly doing bloody gymnastics on the back in order to actually give it a shot. So, trust me, when we actually get into the game, it will make sense why. I'm just warning you right now that I haven't actually done that for decent reasons. Some pretty obvious options here. Nothing too out of the ordinary. You can come here to reset characters' levels. I'm not sure why you would at this point, but there's probably some, whatchamacallit, reason to do it when they hit max level. And you do have some tutorials going on here, but not all of them. I mean, it doesn't explain absolutely everything, but it explains enough. It just takes a while. So, we've got 2 modes. Now, everyone who plays Warriors games, just in general, knows that the mainline entries, like the Warriors Orochi 4s and the Samurai Warriors 4s and the Dynasty Warriors 8s and whatever, usually have a story mode and then a secondary mode. But funnily enough, the secondary mode this time is an online competitive multiplayer mode. I'm not entirely sure why this is a thing, so I'm going to go have a quick look. I'm not going to bother showing you because honestly it's boring as piss. And that's only because I couldn't actually find any actual fights. You see, the way the game works is that it expects you to set up a party of 2 people. Then you can go into a 3-on-3 versus match with a bunch of other people online, and this will earn you more points, and those points will let you buy officers and weapons. And I'm not entirely sure why that's a thing, because, I mean, if we go to form a team, you get a few people to start out with, and they all have their own different weapons and all that, but it just seems weird to lock off having certain officers and certain weaponry be behind a bloody play count. It's so strange. Hello, Madagascar. I probably should have disabled my internet or my notifications before I did this, but whatever. You can create and join private rooms if you like, and you can also do a mock battle, which is, it says perform a mock battle offline with NPCs, but unfortunately, the NPCs have pretty dumb AI, and it doesn't really make it any fun to play. It doesn't give you any points towards unlocking any new dudes, and it says perform a mock battle offline, but you can't even get into this menu without being online, so there's absolutely no point to it whatsoever. So to me, this game basically has no secondary mode. Oh, I did actually try and get on to play like an actual proper match of it a couple of times. This was directly after it launched. Couldn't find shit. I found like 3 people at most after waiting 15 minutes. So, yeah, that's not doing too good right off the bat. So let's just go have a look at story mode then. Really not much point in doing anything else. So, I said the game was streamlined before, and I still agree on that. The game definitely has seen a little bit of straight lining. This is the camp menu. Now, I remember back in Warriors Orochi 3 Ultimate that the camp was a place you could walk around and talk to people and do all your stuff from there. But in this game, it's literally just a bloody menu. Like, it's just a bunch of different menus that you can get to. Like, here's the settings menu again. Your gallery is where you can go to see your officers, what their models and their voice lines are like. No English dub in this game, by the way. It's all Japanese. Again, that kind of confuses me. I thought these games loved their English dubs. Apparently not. I'm guessing this has just started happening recently because I haven't kept up with the... I'm going to go turn off my internet because I don't need it for this video. I'm just going to wait for that to go away. There we go. So, yeah, let's go have a look around at everything first. Now, I've only been playing this for about 4 hours, but the stages in this game are actually pretty short. So I've been through like 10 or 11 of them. And trust me when I say that it probably isn't going to change much if I go play for like another 4 hours. So we can equip our people with weapons that we find on the battlefield, of course. And we can fuse weapons together. So if we pick this one here, you can see that I've got a bunch of different elements and they all do their own different things. And I can give this one to Naotora, who I'm going to be taking along in the next fight for more reasons than one. She's absolutely adorable and her breast physics are hilarious. You need to see this shit. And you can, of course, sell and dismantle weapons in order to get either their elements or gems out of them. And you can do this for multiple weapons at one time. I'm just not going to do that because there's no real point to it. Pretty simple stuff. If you go to upgrade, you can upgrade officers. Now, you can use skill orbs that you get. Not skill orbs, sorry, skill points. You get skill points every time you level up, and you can use them for different things, like increasing the amount of attack actions they have. Their stats increase the amount of damage inflicted on airborne enemies. Extra defense or health. The chance that the Musu gauge will not be consumed when using a spirit charge. You get the general idea. It's just basic new abilities. Nothing too out of the ordinary. And we can do that. We can do this across everyone. We can also spend growth points earned throughout the game in order to level them up, therefore giving them new skill abilities. So I just need to level the 2 dudes that I've got here up because this game is a weird, whatchamacallit, weird thing where on every stage there's a bunch of elite soldiers. And if you use the elite soldiers on the stage, they get EXP boosts, so there's almost no reason not to. I'm thinking it's something along the lines of just encouraging people to use people they wouldn't normally use. But at the same time, it's a bit weird because then you have to go and level these dudes up individually. If you find a couple of dudes that you like, it's either level the dudes up with extra XP points, or just, you know, constantly run some dudes into the ground with, like, weapon crafting and stuff, and it feels a little bit strange. But at the same time, keeping the recommended soldiers means I get to show off a few different kinds of them. So they've got speed, power, and technique back in this game. There's no wonder from Warriors Orochi 3 Ultimate. And basically, actually, you know what? The Blade tutorials will say this better than I will. So I believe it is attack types. There we go. So yeah. Power, you can't get interrupted and you can press L1 to cancel. Technique, you can do more damage to airborne enemies. And speed, you can press X to cancel certain actions, and you also get a decent double jump. That's pretty much it. They're not that different in the grand scheme of things. I'll give them a lot of credit though. This little menu screen here, it's nice watching all the characters just do all their neat little idle animations, but at the same time, you can pretty easily do this with having a more in-depth camp system. So you can use gems to do all your typical weapon crafting stuff, but you can also use it to get basically just straight boons to literally everybody in the party. So yeah. Okay, there are probably some other things I haven't unlocked yet. Like, there was something up there that said increase the number of teams you can send to training, which is probably a nice thing for leveling up your dudes later and all that sort of jazz, but again, this is first impressions more than anything else, and as I said, I've been playing for 4 hours, and my impressions are well and thoroughly made. So you can come here to form your teams, and you can also select costumes. I don't actually have costumes for that many people, I just have the pre-order stuff. Nothing particularly out of the ordinary. You can also do mock battles in order to just play around with your characters a bit, but really you don't need to do this. I can't imagine you ever needing to do this. Notably, you can also play the entire game online with another person, but that just doesn't... I mean, I don't see the point in co-op in these games unless it's very specifically designed to be co-op, which, to be fair, the other mode is, but again, I wasn't able to actually play the other mode, so it's not like it matters. But it's just a little bit weird playing this game where you can run through a bunch of dudes with no trouble at all, then bringing along someone else to make that job twice as easy. Maybe they'd be useful for bloody hard mode or something along those lines. But anyway, so if we hit begin march, we can select our story level. And as you can see, I've done about 10 levels so far. There's been 1 side story and 9 story missions. And the story is basically literally Zeus has taken over the role of Orochi. He's made a bunch of weird bracelets that makes everybody powerful, and he's imported everyone from Samurai Warriors and Dynasty Warriors back into the world of Orochi for some reason. And they can't remember what happened, as in the Samurai Warriors and Dynasty Warriors characters, but everybody else can. And it's a little bit odd, but oh well. So you've got chapters, which are basically just straight line missions. And you've got side stories, and the side stories are literally just extra missions you can play on the side. There doesn't seem to be much in the way of variety in the way of missions. Apparently there's something called Pandamonium Missions later on, but I'm not entirely sure what those would relate to. Assumingly they're probably just like side missions you can play for extra experience points and just have a lot of dudes on the field at the same time, but again, that's an assumption. I'm not going to make any claims to that, but again, I've played enough of the main game to know what I really think of it. So, let's go and play this mode here, this level here, Brutal Enemies. So we can also change the difficulty, easy, normal, and hard. Don't start on hard. Just don't. There's no point. It basically just makes everybody really strong for some reason. And in the first level, they make you fight Lu Bu. I'm not entirely sure why they make you fight Lu Bu, but they make you fight Lu Bu. And there is 0 points to just there's 0 point to starting on hard, because as far as I can tell, it doesn't even get you that many decent rewards. So yeah, just play on normal until you feel confident enough to stick the difficulty on hard, then play through on hard, and then play through on chaotic when you unlock that difficulty, because that's an extra difficulty. Oh, that was the wrong button. Hang on, I need to return to camp, and I need to go with the elite officers. I think I would have already done it because they were already in my party, but I just need to be sure. And then I can play the cutscenes for you. So, Chapter 2, Brutal Enemies, options for elite members, sortie. There we go.
後世の策と馬長の勇により北条軍は崩壊。織田信長の有力な同盟相手である北条氏康が反乱軍についた。織田軍の強大な戦力は、また信長の持つ腕輪は一つであることも判明した。反乱軍にもいい直虎が拾ったものが一つある。腕輪の数では完全に互角であった。他の腕輪を信長や奪旗に先んじて見つければ、この異界の戦いで有利に立てる。守勢に回っていた反乱軍の逆襲が始まろうとしていた。
直虎殿、腕輪のことでまだ悩んでいるのですか？
あ、違うんです。いえ、それも違わないんですけど、今は元の世界でお仕えしていた家康様のことを思い出していました。どこにいらっしゃるのかな、また会えるかなって。
それは心配ですね。この世界に来ているかもしれませんし、危険な目に遭っていないといいのですが。
はい。
大変です。この先で襲われている者がいる模様。敵はダッキなる女と呂布です。
呂布？あの鬼神もこの世界に来ているのですか？
鬼神？そんなに強い方なんですか？
ええ、私の世界では最強と名高い将です。黒い鎧を身にまとった大男で赤い頭飾りをつけていたと聞いたことがあります。
あれ、私その人と戦ったことがあります。ここに来たばかりの時に。あ、だとすると腕輪を持っているかもしれません。信長様みたいなすごい力を使ってましたから。
まずいですね。ただでさえ強い呂布が腕輪まで。しかし襲われているものを放ってはおけません。
安ですが、助けに行きましょう。
You know, it's funny, despite my constant attempts to not pursue Lu Bu, for some reason I'm just constantly pursuing Lu Bu. So, remember what I said about the game being streamlined? It's a little bit strange because it seems to be happening here as well. You've got battle objectives, and most of them are really simple. Like, seriously. Defeat Lu Linki within 8 minutes, defeat all the Demon Army officers within 15 minutes, win without Ieyasu Tokugawa's health falling below 50%. There's also the typical ones like kill 150 people with a Musu attack, kill 150 people with a magic attack, stuff like that, but the mission objectives just haven't changed outside of them. They are really simple this time around. You can come in to check your officers, and I should also point out that you can change your mount, and you also have support characters who add their own little stats to that window in the bottom right there. And if it gets to a certain point, all your abilities go up a notch, which is a nice thing to do, so you might as well just get the characters you can get along with the most. And of course, you can also come here to check out your settings again. So, let's get started. I do also want to point out that, those cutscenes are oddly low budget for a Warriors Orochi game. Is that just me? Like, honestly, it feels like playing Warriors Orochi 2 on... whatchamacallit. It feels like playing Warriors Orochi 2 on PSP again. Because it just seems like they've really taken a liking to that whole just straight up pictures cutscene, you know? It's a little strange, I gotta say. But anyway, we're not talking about that now. We're talking about randomly disappearing dudes. Cool. So this is Warriors Orochi 4. For those of you who don't know what Warriors Orochi is, but you've played Dynasty Warriors or Samurai Warriors before, it's basically a crossover between those two, right? So you've got characters from both sides just getting together and beating the crap out of each other because there's honestly nothing better to do in this universe, apparently. Like, seriously, there is nothing better to do in these games than just beating the ever-loving stuffing out of each other with the most insane weaponry possible, and it's great. So, in this game, they appear to be using the Dynasty Warriors 8 people and the Samurai Warriors 4-2 people, which is a slightly bizarre choice, but considering how badly Dynasty Warriors 9 was received, I can understand why. Apparently this game was also started development right around the time of Warriors All-Stars. So, yeah, that is actually kind of bizarre. I'm not entirely sure why both games went into development at the same time. You would think people would want more, more Dynasty Warriors, more, Warriors Orochi more than they would something like Warriors All-Stars. And considering that this game doesn't actually have any characters outside of Warriors Orochi, Samurai Warriors, and Dynasty Warriors, which was usually something in the Warriors Orochi games, like, Warriors Orochi 3 Ultimate had, God, what's her name? I don't remember her bloody name. It's, the ninja lady, Ayan from, Dead or Alive, and, Ninja Gaiden, she's in both. But, yeah. The fact that they got him in that, yeah, jiggle physics! I had to show you that at least once. Seriously. I mean, after all the bloody hubbub about Koei Tecmo getting rid of the ridiculous jiggle physics in bloody Dead or Alive 6, and then having that? It makes no bloody sense, mate. Oh, I like that magic attack. That's awesome. Right, as I was saying, this is Warriors Orochi 4. It's a crossover between Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors. The way it works is that you've got 3 characters in your party, and you can swap between them at any time by pressing the Ultimate R2 buttons. And this is actually something that you will want to do a lot, because as you can see, you can actually keep a combo going forever if you swap between your characters at the right timing, which is a really nice little thing that it's got going on for it. Hit count is actually very important in this game, so for those of you who know Dynasty Warriors 8 and Samurai Warriors 4, the characters feel almost exactly the same as they do. Like, I've played as Naotora, and I've also played as, whatchamabloody-call-it. I've also played as Liu Bei. Now, those are the 2 characters I remember the most from Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors, respectively. And they both have, they are both identical, so I'm pretty sure that it's based on Samurai Warriors 4 and Dynasty Warriors 8. However, of course, this is Warriors Orochi, so there are a few new things that you can do. For example, the magic attacks. You hold the R1 button and press square, and when you press square, that does a regular magic attack, and that takes up just a little bit of the meter. Great for helping build up combo, but if you press R1 and triangle, you will do a goddamn massive charged magic attack, which does tons of damage and is actually really useful against Chaos Origins, because Chaos Origins can't actually be damaged by anything except magic attacks, so you do kind of need to take them out as fast as possible. You can also press L2 and R2 together to do this. This is a Unity magic attack, and this is built up by using magic attacks and getting your hit count really high. Now, I also need to point out that using charged magic attacks is way more effective when you have a high hit count. So right now, I've got 700-ish hits, but if I go to the effort of getting my hit count up to 1,000, which shouldn't be too hard in all honesty, there we go. Now, if I throw out my charged magic attack, it'll do way more damage. So it'll also absolutely reset the hit count. So you do need to be doing this a lot, but at the same time, at least it gives you like a good excuse to get your hit count up, which is actually really nice in the grand scheme of things. You can also get your... If you get enough hits in on a Chaos Origin, they also, like, shield everyone around them. So, hang on, I need to check the map, because I can barely see it from this distance. Right, I need to go around. Okay. Also, R1 and X is your mount. They're actually magical mounts now, which is a little bit strange, but not a huge deal. The thing... when you do enough hits and then take out a Chaos Origin, that's how you get your rage in this game. It's not an extra meter that gets built up. You do actually have to beat Chaos Origins for this one, which is a little bizarre, but nothing too out of the ordinary. Let's get back on the horse. I like being able to literally summon the horse immediately and just hop on it straight away. It really gets rid of a lot of the downtime of trying to get on a horse and getting back into the fight, because considering that you need to keep your combo meter up in this game as much as humanly possible, it is really useful to make the game as fast as possible to get into the action and stay there. And combine that with the fact that you have your rush attacks with, I think it's called Rush, I might be wrong on that one, but combine that with the fact that you've got your rush attacks with your Samurai Warriors 4 characters, and it makes it really, really, really fast to get back into the fight. So in this game, characters who are held away get their health and their magic back. Musu back, I should say. And of course you can use Musu whenever the meters are full. Strangely enough, you've got 2 meters, but for whatever reason, you don't actually use your Musu until both of those meters are full, and I'm not sure why. It's a little bizarre, I must say. But yes. The thing about the way they've done the combat in this game is that it never stops. Like now, in a Dynasty Warriors game, you had some downtime, like between some areas where you had to ride between on a horse or something like that. And, you know, sometimes you just, like, ran out of attacks you could throw out. In this game, you have way more shit at your disposal. Especially with the magic attacks. They make it so that you have an absolute ton of different moves you can throw out at any one time. And it is wonderful to be able to throw out a magic attack and then swap characters and then do a regular attack chain because they're a Dynasty Warriors character. Then swap to a Samurai Warriors character and just hit the triangle button all day and just fly all over the place because the controls allow for it. And then get your shit kicked in by Luling Key because you got down, you let your attack chain go at the worst possible time. There we go. Oh yeah, also, another positive element, checkpoints. I actually really appreciate checkpoints. Defeat the Demon Lubu armies. Cool. Oh yeah, if you're wondering what the hell those are anchors. And they basically just let you recharge your magic energy if you hold the R1 button while you're standing next to them. It's really nice. Your block is on L1, but once again, I feel Lubu has been deified. Oh dear. And Lubu is advancing. Oh dear. Right. Gates open. We should run. Jesus wept. They're gone already. Oh. They actually want me to head that way? Where am I going exactly? I'm assuming I'm going back to fight. Hang on, I'll swap to now Tora and show off her triangle magic. Everyone also has a circle button magic, but I keep forgetting to bloody show that off because the triangle magic is actually really effective. Here's a circle magic example. Everybody has unique circle magic, but the square and triangle ones are the same depending on whether or not they have the same sacred treasure, which is basically just a pre-assigned character trait. I had a feeling I'd have to take out Gao Shun. Or is that Sao Shun? I can't really tell from this distance. It's Gao. Okay. Alright, now let's go beat the crap out of demonified Lubu. Why am I getting so many emails? Right, okay, fair enough. So, I need to go into rage mode, and that lets me deify, and that gives me infinite magic meter. Cool. Right, so let's just spam. Let's just spam special attacks, and oh dear. That is almost... That is fierce. That is. Oop, and I get to do it again. Sure, why not? Just spam that shit. Why the hell wouldn't you? But yeah, it's Lubu. We want to be attacking Lubu as hard as humanly possible. Unfortunately, using that. Oh right, so yeah, I can just keep spamming magic. So why the hell not? Yeah, sure. Let's do that again. Why the hell not? But don't you hate it when you play a game for like 4 hours, you think, oh, they showed me pretty much everything they're going to show me, then they pulled this out of their hat. And of course someone started mowing their lawn outside, which I cannot stand. And I really should be careful with the health meters, because of course if one character dies in this game, they all die. Come on, throw out your damn unique magic. The nice thing about this game is that if someone's doing a weird-ass magic attack, you can actually disrupt it if you feel like it by just doing a quicker magic attack before they can pull off their massive magic attack, which is a nice little change of pace. So, admittedly, this is probably the most I've liked the combat in these games since bloody, whatchamacallit, since, like, Dynasty Warriors 8, because it just keeps it going. It doesn't slow down for anything. And, oh dear. Let's just back away and not actually let him hit me this time. Man, I'm not doing so well. Except for, of course, giant fights like this, where it's slowed to a crawl because I can't get close enough to damage him much. There we go. Ah, that's fun, just spamming the same attack. Why the hell not? At this point, honestly. Now that I'm at, like, now that I can lock up at almost 1,000 hits. There we go. Now I just need to, oh dear. Nope, and I'm not, oh no, I did get to keep it. Cool, so now I can throw out my unique attack, and it'll do more damage. There we go. And apparently the mission's still going. Notably in this game, the missions are actually really short. Like, I don't know if it's just me not playing on hard or anything. If you play on hard, it'll make every mission like 20 goddamn minutes. But I'm playing on normal, and like, most of the missions I've played have been no longer than 12. Which is a little bizarre, but nothing too, like, nothing too bad. Okay, the demon army reinforcements have arrived, fair enough. And I need to defeat Daji. I wonder if she's going to be all deified this time. Let's go back to someone who still has their health. I could stand around and fight all these dudes, but there's no bloody point. There is absolutely no point. Just need to get my hit counter up before I throw out any... okay, this is bad. Muso attack isn't really going to do anything, but it'll build up my magic meter a bit. So that I can do this again. Admittedly, I'm a little disappointed. The Unity magic doesn't seem to change at all. It just seems to just be the same attack every time. Compared to how everybody else does, like... Compared to how everybody else has, like, unique special attacks with the magic. Not to mention, you know, having just your regular magic attacks and your... Right, I got the ability to deify, yeah, but if I swap to someone else, it's only rage. Got it. That's fine. Makes sense to me. Deify doesn't really change much, if I'm being honest. It just gives you a fancier looking character and a higher magic meter. I won't argue against that. But yeah, as I was saying before, admittedly, I like the combat in this one a lot more than I have most of the Warriors games I've played in the last couple of years, mainly because they have made an active effort to keep the pace up, which I really appreciate more than, oh dear. Which I appreciate a hell of a lot more than I do your typical Dynasty Warriors game or Samurai Warriors game, because they have this annoying tendency to have a lot of downtime, but in this game you can keep it going pretty much forever if you like. And the fact that they started relying on combo counters as a mechanic instead of just leaving it as like a thing that was a little bit impressive, like way back when, is cool. Because I can appreciate the fact that they finally actually... Well, it might have been something useful in earlier iterations, but this time around, where it actually literally gets you, like, more powerful attacks, is great. So, you know, I approve this quite handily. But yes. It's just, the downside for the story mode for me seems to be that it's entirely linear at this point. Oh, yeah. You can tell when the mission's over because you can't attack anymore. It's a bit weird that they have the fight with Lu Bu be, like, the second to last fight and not the last fight, but whatever. The fact about the story modes is that it just seems to be a little bit, disappointingly linear, as I said, because there doesn't seem to be anything in the way of, like, special side objectives to go do outside just the really simple ones, like, beat the mission this quickly, make sure someone doesn't die, and just do a couple of certain things. Sure, you get a lot of characters and stuff to play around with. Let's do this just a little bit quicker. But yeah, it's at least it's cute. The story is cute. It isn't particularly in-depth or interesting, but at least they're making an effort to put as many characters in as possible. Although now that I've got like 40 different people, I can see it being a little bit, you know, having people put off to the wayside. Especially since there's been like, especially since there's gonna be like 170 something characters in this game. There aren't that many new ones. There's like 6 new ones, and they're all like the gods of the what do you bloody call it? They're all the not Norse. No, Zeus is Norse. Never mind. But yeah, you unlock new characters at a pretty decent rate, and you can, of course, you get a bunch of different weaponry. Sometimes you get like 1 extra weapon for a character that you're not using, but it's gonna be weapons for the characters that you're using for the most part. And of course, characters do have relationships that build between them depending on how much you use them. And there are special events that you can unlock when certain characters' bonds get high enough.
ならばわかりました。
And it really does seem like the story in this game has more or less been this far, so far at least, literally just whatchamacallit, go find dudes from the previous games and get them to join you. That seems to be most of the plot so far, which, you know, to be fair, fair enough, but at the same time, when it's basically that for 4 hours straight, it can get a bit dull. Who is the recommended party for this one? Elite members. 1 I've already used and 2 I haven't. Great. We go to form team. Shingen Takeda, Guan Ping, and Nobuyuki Sanada. Fair enough. I don't know these guys very well. Admittedly, I don't play as much Warriors as I would like to, but then again, they haven't been exactly great with the games they've been putting out recently. So, right. Go to confirm his level up. Acquire some skills real quick. Yes, you do have to do this pretty much every time you want to use a new character. Yes, it gets annoying really fast. And the thing is, outside of do a Pandamonium mission, and I have no idea what those are at this point, and I do apologize for that, but again, first impressions and my first impressions have been well and truly made. The weird thing about it is just that it really is as linear as it seems. It's just, you just do this over and over again. There doesn't seem to be any major distractions. Even the trophy list is, other than do a Pandemonium mission and finish the game, it's literally just a bunch of stuff to do in story mode. Like, kill 5 officers at the same time with a Musu attack. Get 2 Unity attacks off in 3 minutes. Just like, little achievements like that. That's the entirety of the trophy list. I'll show you what a, event here looks like. And again, just with the weird little, like, loss of budget going on. Like, there's no 3D models of, like, the camp or anything. It's just all these menus, which seems a little bit too streamlined for these games, but I don't know, like, in pretty much every Dynasty Warriors game I can remember, you have the ability to, like, wander around a camp and talk to people like that and stuff like that, but it's a bit weird to have it in this game where it's just all menus. It just seems bizarre. Even Warriors All-Stars wasn't all these menus, which is weird. There are, of course, like, things that the relationship bond will influence. I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but they do something. It's not just, like, it's not just story events, but they are there. You get the idea. They have, and there are an absolute ton of events. Like, you can see that, like, anyone who has a pink heart right now has a story event, and they all have story events. So there is absolutely, not story events, like bonding events or whatever. So you get the general idea. Basically, you just want to be using as many characters as possible to get them all as, you know, as fast as possible. So let's go do one more mission, because as I said before, the secondary mode is literally just like, it's either a complete bore if you play against the AI, or just almost impossible to play because there was nobody bloody else. I'll just skip all the cutscenes and stuff here to save some time. Defeat Masamune Date and one of the Yi family. Cool. when the game decides it wants to load. Hopefully this mission won't be any longer than like 10 minutes. Are you a Samurai Warriors character? You are. Very good. I also appreciate that the combo is naturally extended when you swap between certain characters. So if you swap to like from a Samurai Warriors character to a Samurai Warriors character, you get like this little tornado that will do massive amounts of like crowd control damage, which is very useful. But then you can swap to a Dynasty Warriors character, and they can just beat the ever-loving crap out of everybody. And then you can use them in order to go for officers. So, again, it's just like the overwhelming variety of different kinds of combat, despite the fact that, you know, a lot of it plays the same because, you know, it's Dynasty Warriors, what the hell do you expect? The just overwhelming variety of it all is great, and I really do appreciate all of it in this game in particular. Let's just beat the crap out of all these dudes. I was trying to hit the Chaos Origin, but I couldn't get to it from this distance. But thankfully I can just use the Unity magic. The game seems to run fine. I mean, I'm on a PlayStation 4 Pro. I don't think I have the PS4 boost mode on at this point. But either way, the game's performance seems to be absolutely fine. There are some things that will cut it down, but usually it's like Musu attacks or just stuff like that, you know, nothing particularly overwhelming, as in, you know, it's not going to screw with you if you run into trouble in the middle of a fight like that. Back on the horse. Oh yeah, Pegasus is like the mount you get for pre-ordering, and it is much better than like every other mount in the game so far. So, you know, there's a little warning for you. But yeah, overall, I like the combat in this one a lot, just because they've done a lot of things that I like. They've made swapping between characters constantly a benefit. They've made going for high combo counts a benefit. They've made a lot of extra new kinds of attacks that you can take advantage of, thanks to the whole new magic system and Unity magic, while still making Rage a useful ability to have, and, you know, something that's not particularly easy to get because you need to go find a Chaos Origin every time you want to get it. And the combat is really engaging in this one, and I do appreciate it for that, just because of all these new little elements they've added in. But again, and this seems to be a problem with like almost every Musu game I've played in the last couple of years, they just can't seem to get a good, eye for like secondary content, and it's bizarre. I'm not entirely sure why they seem to have this annoying tendency to do weird shit with their secondary content. Like, why can't they do like another ambition mode? Like, ambition mode was great. What's stopping them from doing that again? Or what's stopping them from making like a really unique concept for just like a general mode in this game? Like, you've got the Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors characters together, and you can't come up with any sort of meaningful secondary content, except for doing something along the lines of a bloody 3-on-3 online multiplayer mode, which seems absolutely bizarre in a game like this to have, but, you know, I guess it's their choice, but I mean, why would they do that exactly? Like, what's the point? I don't know. I really don't. It just, yeah, it's the content again that makes me disappointed in this one, because I mean, it's a Musu game. Like, why in good conscience does a Musu game need an online competitive multiplayer mode be its major secondary mode? Especially when you have like Warriors Orochi 3 Ultimate, which didn't come out that long ago. I mean, it's a couple of years ago, sure, but the amount of content it had compared to this was amazing. Like, it had like 3 other different modes you could play. The bloody Dungeons mode or whatever it was called. I can't remember its exact name, but that mode was fantastic. I don't know why they felt the need to get rid of a mode like that for a bloody online multiplayer mode. It just seems against the point. And, you know, I can appreciate all of the, I can definitely appreciate all of the crossovers going on. I can appreciate all the characters having their own bonding moments and stuff like that. That's all absolutely fine, and, you know, fans of the well, deep fans of the series will appreciate the characters interacting in that way. Me, personally, I'm here for, like, the breadth of the content more than the depth, and I mean, sure, like, you could argue that the online multiplayer mode would add a lot of extra depth, but at the same time, considering that I wasn't able to actually find anybody to play it with when I tried, it just seems against the point of Warriors. So, really, if you're going to be picking this up, don't rely on finding people to actually play this with. Just rely on finding, just only rely on there being the story mode, because God only knows how long the online mode will be popular for, if it even takes off at all. Because again, I can see bloody competitive Musu being a massive pain in the neck. Then again, there is probably a reason Dynasty Warriors Online never made a West, but I'm not going to be one to speculate on something like that. So yeah, based purely on the story mode alone, since that's all you're going to be getting in the way of single-player content on this one, would I recommend it? The combat has me saying yes, but the overall content has me saying no. It seems to be really streamlined for some reason. It seems to not have much in the way of just general new ideas, which, I mean, I know that's a bit of a big ask for Dynasty Warriors, but at the same time, this is the same series that had story mode and ambition mode next to each other in Dynasty Warriors 8. They could do better. And it just seems a little bit low budget more than anything else, which is a shame because it looks good, it runs pretty good, and it's, you know, it's Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors, Warriors Orochi style butt rock soundtrack. It sounds fine, but you know exactly what you're getting if you've played even one of these games before, so I don't need to go any further into that. So yeah, I'm enjoying the combat, but I can find myself getting bored really quickly with the linear story mode that really doesn't have that much else going for it. So if you were to ask me personally, unless you're a big fan of the series, which, you know, I can understand, these games have their fans. If you're a big fan of the series, you should probably go ahead and get it because you've already got it anyway. Because that's what Dynasty Warriors fans do. They buy literally every game right out of the gate. At least this isn't Dynasty Warriors 9. I haven't actually picked up Dynasty Warriors 9, but I heard it was bad. I mean, I don't trust Jim Sterling for much, but the guy is a massive Dynasty Warriors fan, and he has the... like, every video of his I've watched on the subtext shows it. So if he is the sort of person that thinks Dynasty Warriors 9 was the worst in the series, I'm not even going to go near it. But yeah. Generally, with everyone saying that Dynasty Warriors 9 was the worst in the series, I just generally avoided it. But this is better. Because, of course, it's based on, like, the Dynasty Warriors 8 and the Samurai Warriors 4-2 combat. With a couple of extra things on top, which actually make it a lot of fun. Yeah. If you're a fan of the series, go ahead. You'll probably enjoy it. But if you're someone who's just looking to get into the series, I'm going to have to give out my usual recommendation again, which is get Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends Complete Edition, whether it be on PS4, Vita, or PC, because those games are a lot more fleshed out. They have a lot more, well, not so much fleshed out, but they have a lot more content, and they make a lot more use out of this sort of IP, and they'll keep you entertained a lot more. You can move on to this one when you've exhausted that and, like, Samurai Warriors 4. Honestly, that's probably the best way to go about, because as I said before, as far as I can tell, this is based off the Dynasty Warriors 8 and Samurai Warriors 4-2, so yeah, there's probably a decent enough reason. There's probably a good justification for only focusing on those two games until you can get to this one. I'm not saying I don't enjoy it, I'm just saying the content is a bit thin on the ground for my personal liking. I'll probably get bored faster than I'd like to admit. And to be fair, I more or less already am. Like, because again, as I've said before, the story mode has been almost entirely linear. I've gotten one submission in 4 hours, and it felt like exactly the same stuff either way, so yeah. Not bad, not great. Good combat, but not much going for it in the way of everything else. Wait for a sale. That's more or less it, really. I really wish I could skip this, but you can't. So do I have anyone who can deify? No, I cannot. So I guess he'll just be raging. Who do I have to beat? Date and Yi. Are they both here? They are. Let's screw them. Let's screw them. Yes. Totally not homoeroticism going on in here. Not at all. Although to be fair, with the amount of female fans this series has, they'd probably appreciate me saying something like that. Like the 5 people who actually give a shit. Right. Oh, hey, Zhu Liang just in the background there, just holding his fan up. He's not doing anything of particular consequence, because that's what friendly AI does in these games. I love being able to just spam attacks like this, it's so satisfying. Your life is too precious to be wasted here, and I can't attack anymore, so that's the end of the mission! Cool. No surprises for this one. Japanese voice work is pretty good. I got nothing wrong with it. It fits. Now Tora sounds exactly how I would expect her to sound. Let's just skip this. Masamune Date, Kojiro Sima Yi, Zhang Xuanha, Deng Ai. I'm probably pronouncing these very poorly. There's Guan Yu and Zhu Liang. That's nice. Yue Ying. I remember Yue Ying being quite good in Dynasty Warriors 8. Oh great, the prize weapon I got was somewhat terrible. Okay. But yeah, that was a look at Warriors Orochi 4. The combat itself is good, but oh yeah, there's warrior training. Let's go have a quick look at it just to be sure. Warrior training. Oh, there it is. You can power up send them training and upgrading your camp to let you send them more places to train. That's cool. Oh. So, oh right, I have to pick 3 people. So I pick now Tora, that's Ma Chao, and Zhuaheng. And if I set them apart, yeah, now I have to do 3 battles, but they'll come back and they'll have shit with them. Cool, that makes sense to me. But yeah, that was a look at Warriors Orochi 4. It just doesn't have that much in the way of content. It's still linear story mode for the most part. I mean, again, you've got the ballerina, but again, like, look, I turned my internet connection off. Can't even get into it. Not even to play an NPC thing. So it just... Why? Which is a shame, because the combat in this one is actually really good, and I approve of it for the bunch of things it does, like making chain count important, and having a bunch of different magic attacks that you can throw out at pretty much any time to have really long combos, and just have an emphasis on having the really, really long combos, which I really do enjoy. It was the right move to make. I assume when they release Warriors Orochi 4 Ultimate in a year, it'll actually have a proper secondary mode that I can actually have fun with, but for now, I'm just not really that into it, just due to the overall linearity and simplicity of the story mode so far. So again, if you're a fan of the series, you've probably already bought it. If you're not, I would personally tell you to wait for a sale, like, you know, half price or like 2/3 the price, just so that when you eventually get bored of the story mode, you probably wouldn't regret your purchase that much as a result of the fact that the story mode is as linear as it is. Thanks again to PlayAsia for helping me pay for this, and this has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.